What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 6 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Khatep Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have acquired the, I want to say, 3rd book of Nagash, our 2nd out of the 8th books, and are well underway to our objective, or at least one of the main objectives of the campaign. I don't think the books of Nagash are actually an actual long victory objective or anything like that, but I sort of like them here as a sort of objective that it feels like we should get. I do wonder, do we get the 9th book of Nagash if we kill Arkan, or do we not? But I guess this book has been collected by another faction, yeah. I take it we don't, but it would be a neat thing if we could. But either way, we've still got other books to head towards, and Khatep is right beside Mr. Warg here, who decided to declare war on us with a pretty interesting army. This is probably the worst kind of army that we could possibly face off against, simply because most of the units in our army are going to be awful, and I mean absolutely awful at fighting trolls here. Chariots completely useless against them. Nehekara horsemen too fragile, and the various artillery. Well, the screaming skull catapults might be able to dish out some damage. The caskets of souls will probably not be able to do anything against them. So it's going to be interesting because we are going to fight them. I just can't say no to a fight like this. Frankly, if the player were to build a doom stack like this of just tons and tons of trolls and a few giants and stuff, there's probably nothing in the game that the AI could bring up that could stop them, as long as they had sufficient leadership buffs to not constantly rout at things. But anyway, let's see what we gotta do this turn, and then let's get going. Itabam, who are you again? Oh right, our other Necrotect. I was gonna pop him into Khatep's army, but you know what, let's wait the turn. I'd like to send him out here to see if Nakari is nearby, because if we attack Warg and then immediately get killed by Nakari, that would be bad, as I do expect we will take pretty heavy casualties fighting this completely necessary battle. 'Tis a campaign of completely necessary choices. Head to core. You are going to keep heading this way and keep finding things. Oh, I guess you could try to move this way to see where the Nemesis crown is. I don't think we've got the announcement of the burial sites becoming active. It's just that people search for the crown, right? And if we potentially want to get Khatep over there, then it's better that we know where we're going. Rehobi. Oh, you're probably going to attack this camp as well, but that's a little bit less interesting than what Khatep's about to do. Rakash, grab this mysterious island real quick. And then I guess start moving back north. Power of Rage, please. You get the bloody red spot. Sure, that gives you Frenzy for the entire army, which is pretty solid for the Nehekara warriors. There is another island all the way over here, but it's a little bit far, I think. Go into... I know, it doesn't really matter. Let's go this way. And just go this way. We're just going to patrol this sort of area for a little while, grabbing islands as we can, but also because we're going to be retrofitting this army very shortly. In fact, we'll be getting the Wisdom of the Third Dynasty up and our next army up and running as soon as possible. Another reason that, while I wanted to avoid this, but the +1 control will counteract the sort of issue that we're having with the Sword of Cain, so it's kind of necessary. Anyway, Khatep, you're about to have some fun here, sir. Head directly towards Warg. We don't need to level, and so we'll be... No, wait. Let's take you off the casket and put you on the steed for this particular battle. I actually don't know. Would the steed limit the... I mean, the casket is a much bigger target and probably has weaker melee defenses. Actually, just out of curiosity. Actually, the melee defense stat doesn't change at all, and it gives you extra armor. But I can't imagine it hits in melee that well. You know, I'm gonna put him on a steed for this battle, but then we'll see. Maybe the next time we'll try to send the casket into melee, even if it does feel like a bad idea. I just do feel like with the Sword of Cain, Khatep has the options to sort of switch around with his various abilities or his various mounts. Plus the caskets, once again, the damage from them isn't going to be useful here, so... Let's do it. Close victory, casualties medium, possibly much heavier than it says. Ooh, the enemy is in camp stance, though it only gives them weapon strength, plus 10%. I wonder why this little faction decided to declare war on us. Perhaps they want the Sword of Cain for themselves. Well, they're welcome to try and take it. Man, I really don't know whether the AI did this on purpose, but the army of trolls is guarding a bridge, or at least it's guarding a bridge on the map, and something like a bridge slash ford slash choke point here. It's a little on the nose, but I gotta appreciate the trolls and bridges thing. Anyway, here we go. This should be a toughie, though perhaps the bridge thing will work in our favor. On the one hand, it will mean that we can't get around the enemy and flank them with our Necropolis Knights and our Sparkle Stalkers and whatnot, though the rest of our cav or fast movers are useless against trolls like those chariots and Hekara horses, so perhaps it is better that it is this way. Khatep is now on his steed, and hopefully because we have the Sword of Cain, he can actually fight in melee, as I suspect that the well, generally speaking, the Caskets of Souls are going to be pretty much useless here. Anyway, we're going to get a few shots off with our artillery pieces, going to get some vortexes down, first the Sandstorm, then the Vortex of Cain, followed by a Banishment. It looks like the first of the enemy giants is moving in, going to take a few shotgun blasts to the face from our Sepulchral Stalkers before they move on away behind the lines of a Tomb Guard. Still waiting on those Tomb Guard with halberds that are in our main location, or where we started. We're just gonna have to ferry them to Khatep in some way. Ooh, nice shot from that Cygor right into the middle of our piles of units there, our piles of Tomb Guard. The Giant has arrived, and damn, the Necrosphinx actually makes the Giant look almost small by comparison. Ooh, oh wow, the headbutt, oh damn. I gotta see more of the animations between the Necrosphinx and the Giant. I wasn't expecting the headbutt to send the much bigger Necrosphinx back. I want to see also how a Necrosphinx would do against a Dread Saurian. Might be an interesting thing to see. Another headbutt, huh? Interesting. But while the headbutts are knocking our Necrosphinx back, I want to point out that the Giant is down to about half HP, though I do believe that Khatep has taken a few whacks away at him, as well as he has 20,000 damage on him. Now, a little bit of that I'm sure was from the vortexes, but the trolls aren't really damaged so much by the vortexes, so I don't expect a lot of that damage was from it. Anyway, the Cygor continues bombarding us, and we're actually completely ignoring the Cygor and letting that happen. The reason for this is because the only thing that we have that is of any kind of range threat to the Cygor, well, I guess we only have two types of range units, is the Screaming Skull Catapult. However, it would take a long time for the 12,000 HP of the Cygor to be brought down by the Screaming Skull Catapult. Instead, we're having it work on the Savage Giant. Because the AI has a tendency to do the dance and avoid shots, it means that this giant is essentially being kept out of the battle by virtue of attempting to avoid the hits from our Screaming Skull. I think it's a better use of wasting its time on the Cygor. I suppose if there are... If the Screaming Skulls are actually able to stagger the Cygor, there is the possibility that we'd be able to stop it from firing to some degree, and at least save at least a few of our Tomb Guard, but I'm willing to bet that the Giant would have done more damage anyway. Speaking of Giants, it looks like this one is, well, no, still up there, but starting to get worse and worse shape, but the trolls are still fighting, blobbed up as they are. The Tomb Guard definitely wouldn't have been able to hold here, and it is the Sepulchral Stalkers and the Necropolis Knights that are interspersed among them that are allowing us to hold the choke point. A very difficult army for our particular type of army to deal with, and though fortunately the low leadership of the trolls will begin to tell, and some of them at least will begin routing or shattering depending on the unit. I do believe the Screaming Skull shots are also able to discourage enemies unless I'm mistaken, minus 10 leadership, so fairly effective against trolls if we can get them to land where they don't hurt our own units. Alright, by the looks of it, the enemy giant is broken and down to the dregs of its HP. A few more whacks from the Sword of Cain, and Khatep will bring it down, while the Sphinx of Usek moves to attack more enemy trolls. Stone trolls, regular trolls, any kind of troll will do, but they all must die. Also, another interesting thing that it's essentially two armies, both with fire weakness, facing off against each other. Fun little fact: Khatep shouldn't have fire weakness. Fire resistance 25%. Wait, do we all have fire resistance? Okay, we all have fire resistance right now, but Lich Priests don't have the fire weakness, as I recall, if I'm recalling correctly, and just generally speaking. Whereas the Tomb Kings and Princes do. Anyway, looks like a lot of the enemy trolls are routing, but they are not shattered. They're merely backing away. We're going to keep firing away at them and running down as many of them as we can, but we'll probably have to back away afterwards. There we go. Looks like the second giant has turned upon us, and a few trolls, perhaps citing that, will turn back and enter the fray once more. We're going to go back to where we started at the choke point behind our lines of Tomb Guard. Storm Riders of Xar also looking pretty fantastic as a model. I love the sort of glow that they've got on the horse feet. Mostly because it really reminds me of Black Knights from the Vampire Counts, and anything that reminds me of Vampire Counts is a win in my opinion. Anyway, I'm back behind the line, dead trolls and Tomb Guard a line here. Then the enemy will have to attempt to break those lines once again. That said, we have managed to send about half of the enemy army off. Gonna get a few more shots with our artillery. We can see the HP of the enemy basically not dropping at all to it. I think perhaps if I were to play this battle again, what I would have done is move the two Caskets of Souls a little bit closer. The thing is, Caskets of Souls are more accurate the closer the enemy is, and against the units like trolls, they just weren't going to do anything with the dispersion in the current state. It's essentially acting like a at this distance at any rate. Now these things essentially act like the Hellstorm rocket batteries, and we want them to act like I don't know, something else basically. A little bit less dispersion. Anyway, the trolls are back in a mixed bunch here. We got stone, we got regular, we got the river trolls as well. These are actually chaos trolls. Okay, regular and chaos. Or is it just piles of chaos trolls? Interesting. Well, either way, it doesn't matter, as the trolls aren't having a particularly easy time trying to get through our lines. They're not able to cross the bridge, and they periodically get brought down just like that by the Sphinx of Usek. And man, you gotta admit, the Sphinx of Usek, ever since we summoned it, has given us so much value for a single unit. And it's killed off so many lords and heroes in these fights, and all these single entities or low entity units. Especially considering that in its current state, Khatep's army has a rather difficult time dealing with those things. And in the same way that the giant made the, or this Necrosphinx made the giant look small, the Cygor is pretty gigantic as well, and that's considering that its posture is pretty awful. So if it were to straighten up and stand tall, it would be significantly bigger than the Sphinx. And here comes the other giant as well, but the enemy is very low on trolls. Khatep continues whacking away at the enemies, but is now fairly low in HP. That said, he has been fighting in the middle of the fray this entire time in a fairly dangerous position, and has been racking up the damage. Lovely. And by the looks of it, the bounce bear's at about 90% in our favor. A few trolls have come back, but the Cygor has moved. He's got 200 kills on him, solid, and 44k damage. Great job to the Cygor. Maybe I should have targeted the Screaming Skull Catapult after the Cygor after all. Well, next time, if we run into that situation again, we'll send and to choke point where we can't get around and engage the Cygor and melee, we'll send the nice hit from the Sphinx of Usek. I keep interrupting myself, but you guys should be used to it by now. We'll send the Screaming Skull Catapults to attack the Cygor next time. Anyway, looks like the giant is out of there. The enemy is gonna get caught by that Vortex of Cain and the Sandstorm combination. Red and blue once again looking pretty good, and with that the enemy army will rout and shatter. Khatep took quite a bit of a beating. We've got a lot of damage on a fair few of our units of Tomb Guard, and by the looks of it the Necropolis Knights also lost nearly half of their HP. However, not a lot of models, as by the looks of it the Trolls weren't able to bring them down, and the things that could bring down their models, like the Giants, were too busy dealing with Khatep and the Sphinx of Usek. Lovely. Really interesting fight, and, well, certainly not one I was expecting. Ooh, alright, not bad. Overall damage-wise, I think we did pretty okay. We took a lot of damage on Khatep, but, well, he's not really supposed to be fighting in melee, but, you know, corruption of the Sword of Cain and all that, though I do wonder the degree to which a Tomb King would be able to resist the Sword of Cain. On the one hand, the whole cursing your bloodline thing, while they're probably not going to have any additional progeny, so that doesn't matter. On the other hand, anybody related that already, even loosely related, would be immediately cursed, because it's a magical sword. It doesn't directly affect the blood, and technically it bypasses direct relations as well, so it doesn't matter so much. Nonetheless, he did manage to do 47k damage, and this is what I'm talking about. The Caskets of Souls were firing for the entire battle, but they don't do much against the Trolls, so we only got 12k damage and 9k in damage, so Khatep probably did a lot better swinging the sword around than he would have blasting jerks with souls. Otherwise, we got decent damage on at least one of the Lich Priests. Both of the Necrotechs did well, but probably not so much because of their melee attacks as their venom, toxin, whatever ability that they have. It's a very nice pickup, and they did plenty well against the Trolls here. 75k damage on the Venom Knights of Asaph. Wow, that's impressive. That's really impressive. It's almost twice as much as the Sphinx of Usek, though to be fair, the Sphinx was focusing Giants, and then later the Cygor as well. Still, very nice. 75k. Anyway, Endless March is what we'll do. 4.5k, definitely worth our time. The remnants of that army will back off, and ooh, are they going to back off close enough to... Hello, Trickster's Helm, yes please. Are they going to back up towards Torokar is the question. Looks like not quite close enough. Damn, I was hoping to draw out the Slaneshi garrison. That's a second Trickster's Helm, eh? Alright, one of our other lords can make some use of that. Khatep, you're going to level. Now, we have Sun-Scorched Bones maxed out. I think we're going to go through Syrian's Incantation of Vengeance. We also would like to get Arcane Knowledge, but I think we want Skullstorm as fast as possible. Usek's Incantation of Desiccation isn't bad. At the very least, the stat reductions are fairly significant. 25 and 25 for 45 seconds at 15 mana. However, let's see. For 8 mana, Soul Blight is... I mean, it's a significant difference in the debuff level. Soul Blight's more easily spammable and lasts longer as well. At 12 mana, it's about half. Well, we'll probably still get the incantation anyway. We could always have 100% uptime, should we want to do it that way as well. Now, Darude Sandstorm. Ruinous Time or Banishment. We did use Banishment there. I'm not sure how useful it was, admittedly, but, well, we did use it. Light of Battle could potentially be useful against certain enemies just by virtue of that immunity to contact effect, so I think we'll still get it, but we'll probably want to move towards Onslaught with you, or possibly even more with you because you have that Retinue Physician. So, assuming that we can do without aspect of the Dread Knight and Doom and Darkness and Purple Sun, which I think we can, mostly by virtue of the fact that we have lots of other options, we'll go through Onslaught right now and try to get into Retinue Physician ASAP. These two... wait. Okay, your increased mobility is maxed out. We have the buffs that are not going to be particularly useful to us at the moment. We could go through Master Builder, which doesn't really do too much for us. Neither does Lab, unfortunately. Necrosphinx, War Sphinx, those are tier 5s, Higher Titans are tier 5, yeah, so, and Bone Giants are tier 4, so it'll be a while before we need any of these things. I could just go through some of these things. So the Necrosphinxes do share the traits with the Tomb Scorpions, and until we have Hyro Titans, we'll be using Tomb Scorpions in this army, so we could buff them up, make the Sphinx of Usek and the Tomb Scorpions hit harder, so maybe that'll be the way to do it. I'm also tempted by Hard to Hit, mind you. Maybe Hard to Hit is the better pick. You know, let's at least get Hard to Hit, because if you're going to be on your chariot, you're going to be very vulnerable, especially as the Tomb King chariots are quite vulnerable, and that's what I started doing here as well. Hard to Hit for you, sir. Also, did I check new Necrotechs? I think I did. Okay, Khatep. Can you kill this guy off? Is a question. Decisive victory, low casualties. How low, though? How low can we go? Let's find out. Auto resolve. Please don't kill the chariots. Alright. Decent. We're at 417 jars, eh? It's getting there. I'm almost tempted to forego the money and get the jars. Why the jars, you ask? We only need 600 to unlock another army, and we've got lots of stuff that we can build now. The Screaming Skulls, or the Green Skulls, the Krokagar Legion, the Scorpions aplenty, and we've got more legions to awaken as well. Oh, we need lots and lots of recruitment going at the same time, effectively, is what I'm saying. 2.8k. It's a lot of cash. But it's also a decent amount of jars. Harvest organs. Alright, Troll Skulls destroyed, a free Sword of Strife, another Cultist of Assyrian, and we're just in range of Torikar. That's not bad. Alright, do we need another level? Okay, I guess the question is, do we actually have to fight this? And it would kill off our chariots if we didn't. Did they have a defensive garrison? I didn't check. But they did not, meaning we could do this cinematically. Alright. Be an opportunity for Khatep to heal himself. If Hitabam was in range, I would have put him in this army to get the XP. We could have just deleted one of the chariots, which are not going to stay in this army anyway. But yeah, alright, we can do this. Close victory. Perhaps I shouldn't have auto-resolved the remnants of that army, which would have maybe allowed us to auto-resolve this thing, but oh well, what can you do? Before we get started, yes, we did reach the engagement threshold, and this episode will be an hour long. The engagement threshold has now dropped past the 5th episode, so from now on, 400 likes and 60 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Away we go. Alright, and just once again, these Storm Riders of Xar just look absolutely magnificent. What a great looking unit. Once again, I wish we could build multiple copies of these guys, because they're fantastic. Or at the very least, use this color scheme and the whole look with the shields and the scorched bones, blackened bones all over the place. It's great. I almost wish we still had the other Nehekar horsemen to compare, but anyway, away we go. Looks like we've got a bit of bombardment in store for us. A lot of enemy towers to bring down, but certainly when the enemies are on top of walls like this, this is something we're pretty adept at, as the Caskets of Souls are going to be able to fire and destroy the units on top of the walls just because of the inaccuracy of them trying to hit the towers. And in fact, because of that, we're using the Screaming Skull Catapult to attack the gate and allowing all the damage to come from the caskets, such that more of the enemy units on top of the walls are destroyed. Now, one unfortunate aspect of swapping Khatep around on various mounts, whether it be Chariot or Steed or Casket of Souls, is that I do have a tendency to forget to put him back to the mount that he's supposed to have. So he's gonna still be on foot this time. Possibly could have been a little bit more helpful on the casket for a siege in particular, but I suppose he can lead the rest of the force in the melee as well when we move on in. And it looks like the enemy doesn't know what to do. We've nearly cleared out the towers and the walls, and it's going to blob up. And if it wants to sort of allow us to clear it out faster, well, we'd be, we can oblige and activate some vortexes. Can't wait for Khatep to level up and get the Skullstorm as well, so he can use the Skullstorm plus Sandstorm plus Vortex of Cain all in one blob. He's going to be an absolute sort of blob-deleting monster when he has the ability to do that. Not that he isn't already. That was a nice 49k damage. And the walls are down, the gate is down. Gonna get a few more shots off with our caskets as they continue to bombard the enemy settlement, but we're getting ready to move in. You can spot the Sphinx of Usek coming in from the distance. Nobody heard that. And I guess you can spot Khatep from far away as well because of the sort of the little mini vortex of Cain spinning around him. All right. And away we go. Souls still screaming overhead. I still do like the contrast between the Cain stuff and the blue of the souls. And we're heading into the enemy city, though there is not too much left in the way of defenders, or at the very least, of the infantry variety. Mostly monstrous infantry, or spawn, and the cavalry of various types. Anyway, spawn move in, but they are facing off against Khatep with Sword of Cain, and the Sphinx of Usek as well, and both of them should be able to bring decent numbers of them down fairly quick. Plus, we got the Necrotects here to either heal the Sphinx, or to apply that toxic venom to the enemy, and to shed a little bit more damage. Out here, by virtue of our proximity, we've got our additional units summoned, our skeletons, who hopefully, when they die, will allow us to activate a Realm of Souls and get a little bit of healing going. Alright, drops Incantation of Cursed Blades are up. Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance drops upon the enemy, and we're going to bombard the enemy while damaging our own units, because they're summoned and they will be gone relatively shortly anyway. 30 seconds until they're gone. Down here, the Chaos Spawn of Slaanesh are having a pretty bad day, especially now that we popped the Helm of Discord and Fate of Buna on them. Poison, lethal poison, toxic venom, all combining together. Alright, and tactically not much to say about this battle. It's going to be probably the simpler of the various battles we have in this particular episode, but that's hardly surprising. Relatively small garrison and a siege where we have quite a bit of an advantage. Anyway, it looks like the enemy has charged in with some of those Seekers. But by the looks of it, they're not going to be able to take advantage of their charging capabilities here. Too much mass on the Necrosphinxes, or Necrosphinxes, multiple Necrosphinxes now. Too much mass on the Necroserpents, I meant. Although the Necrosphinx is doing pretty darn well as well, and anyway, by the looks of it, the enemy lord will route another Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance, doing a bit of damage to him. Probably not so much worth it as spamming Spirit Leech, but, well, whatever. Just gotta combine a little bit of everything since we had plenty of mana to work with. And there we go, the battle's ours, little to no damage dealt to us. Okay, we gotta clear out a few more Hell players, Seeker Chariots. They wish they were Hell players. And matching up against the anti-large of the Sphinx of Usek and the Spokal Stalkers, plus a little bit of bonus attacks from the units of Necropolis Knights, ain't gonna work out so well for the poor chariots. Now the battle is ours. Alright, easy little fight. Khatep did massive amounts of damage to the enemy via his vortex spam, and, well, we got one loss. Probably one of the poor tomb guard died, but oh well, not a big deal. We will occupy the place, yes, for ourselves, and we'll use it to, well, trade to Alariel for hopefully more favor. And it's got a military structure as well as this funerary district, which ain't too bad. We can probably delete the funerary district, replace it with another military structure, and then see how Alariel feels about this whole thing. Now, a question will be, can we leave Alariel to deal with? So here's the thing. We have another book here. We have a book in the White Tower of Hoeth, which is currently being held by Mr. Tyrion, the Haeatane. So we have two options. Either attempt to go around like this and then do a bunch of switcheroos, or cause a bunch of havoc and attack Haeatane. I mean, I guess we can't do that either way this turn, but we should probably try to approach the White Tower of Hoeth. We still have to look at the Books of Nagash and the acquisition thereof as sort of goals for this campaign. Also, I guess we could have you auto-resolve this. I mean, it's just a camp. It'll probably damage us a little bit. Just auto-resolve. Just do it. Just do it. Since the last fight was... you know what? Wait. Can we give you anything? Channeling Staff and Scroll of Blast, not super useful. You get Potion of Healing, you know who needs that? Khatep. Especially if we keep sending him periodically into melee. Beautiful. That'll help out quite a lot. He's getting stronger and stronger now. Healing's okay. Could use a little more, but we're getting there. Get Evasion and get you... a little bit of extra melee defense when you're losing, and then the various spellcaster can actually buff you up a little bit more as you fight. You can get hard to hit, and you can get hard to hit at least 1 point in it as well. And oh, he already went for the Hydro Titan capacity. I guess we gotta get the other guy the higher Titan capacity as well. And now that you have hard to hit, I mean, I still think we should grab Tomb Strike, but after Tomb Strike, then we can move into this stuff. Plus, the cooldown for Necrotect abilities isn't horrible, I suppose. All right, Lich Priest, let's level you up. The only reason I'm leveling up these guys right now is I still think that we want to be wary of suddenly Nakari appearing. And you, I guess, Onslaught as well. I don't think I was getting anything. Pause Protection is the only really important spell in the Lure of Light. At least, well, okay, Net of Amontok and sometimes Time Warp and Banishment as well, but for this particular army, it's really only Pause Protection that matters. Now, that was a distraction. You got some items to grab. Let's get you a Sword of Strife, I guess the Golden Mask, Trickster's Shard, and Trickster's Helm? And you have no talisman, at least not until we get a new one. And it's not like we're wasting canopic jars on this stuff. Next, you will hit the camp. Not forgetting anything. The Sense of Victory, low casualties, looks auto-resolvable to me. Probably a little bit of damage. A little bit more on our Tomb Guard than I would have liked, but whatever. And I mean, we could forego the money again and grab Bind Souls. Help us heal up a little bit more. Yeah, fine, do it. And do it, you're gonna stay right here. We got a Speed of Lycos for our Trouble, and oh, I forgot we had a mission from the Heralds of Ariel there. Oh, that's lovely. What we could also do is join you two, and then simply get the Chosen of the Gods and the King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion in this particular army. Channel up as you've no mana, and we'll see if these guys are willing to give us a fight in the field, and if not, well, we'll take the fight to them. You, sir, have a point to apply. I mean, I guess we could get Neru's, it's one of the spam spells, and we need spam spells to activate. Oh, you don't get the Restless Dead until you reach... Huh, that's weird. Why is it like that? Is this a... Do Lich High Priests have an inferior form of lore? Why is it like that? We should be able to acquire this at level 2. What the heck? Cooldown for spells, we get a free version of the Joff's Incantation of Cursed Blades, but only 4 uses. Huh. It's really weird to lock away the Restless Dead like this. Oh well. Not a big deal, we will overcome. Now, we have money, but we don't have anything to use it on, at least until next turn, when we'll be building stuff. Actually, you... Let me just see here. We got the Chariot and the Screaming Skull building here, but at tier 3, we could potentially build the Burial Pits and, oh, the Hidden Sanctum. Maybe we should build a Hidden Sanctum. Why the Hidden Sanctum, Ruinous? Specifically because it will unlock this, Relics of Power. Relics of Power, despite the jar cost, is important. May campaign movement range, B, research rate, and C, it'll allow us to move towards Elixir of Youth and the +2 control. Control is always fantastic, and a little bit of extra money in ward save. It's pretty solid. We will have to forego the ability to recruit more chariots here, but we can build them elsewhere. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, wait. I guess we can wait a turn, because we wouldn't be able to build this right now anyway, because we don't have the Pyramidion, the Ancient Pyramid up and running. Alright, fine. Then you can go into Worship of Asa for 1 turn, as odd as that may seem. And then we'll switch right back after. Alright, now that looks good to me. So unassigned skill points, and assuming that there is no diplomacy to do, Ixoatl still wants a non-aggression pact. They could declare war on us at any time. Should we just peace out with Malice? 1306. Just peace out with Malice. Did you just say tomb scum? Okay, well, Malice probably has a little bit of PTSD from dealing with undead elves from his journeys, so... Yeah, anyway, yeah, fine, just peace out with him. It's not a lot. Gonna piss off the Ancestral Throng, and frankly, they're not doing so well. On the other hand, I'd prefer not to have to watch the coastline. Malice is rather close to the Shrine of Canaan. I'd rather him not sail down here, so... Let's do it. And let's peace out with him, at least for now. And then we'll see. Now I believe we're good, assuming that we go either for Elysia or down to the White Tower next. End turn. We got 517. Just need 100 more jars and we got ourselves a lovely, another lovely army to raise. Ivres, Hexoatl, Nagarond will declare war on and they're gonna ask Hagreep to join us, so I suppose the Hagreep could deny it. Call your allies to help. Alright, good. Heralds of Ariel will help us out. This was inevitable. It was always going to happen. It's why we wanted the dwarfs and the wood elves to watch our flanks. It's alright, though. We got books to find. Frankly, none of these territories really matter. It's just... Surthara Belkek will also declare war on us. Okay, that one's a little bit more annoying. Don't call allies to help. Alright, you know what? We're gonna send this guy to deal with her. Take the gate, transfer it to somebody who doesn't randomly declare war. That's an angry. Okay. All that piece was for nothing. Sacrifice to Mathland, Winds of Pain gives us more magic, which ain't actually a bad thing. Dimmed Suns, Savage Orcs. I'd be tempted to go after them. Alright, either way, Khatep, you are now moving this way. We're going to... I mean, look at this. These guys are all here. You're going down here. We're going for that White Tower. Itabam, you need to keep an eye on Nakari. We still don't know where he is. And we'll need to see about trading some of this stuff. Those savages, yes, I still don't see Nakari. He's not a Tory... Maybe he got banished by somebody. No. It looks like he has 2 stacks running around somewhere. Where the heck could they be? Oh, well, that's interesting. Minus 30, eh? Damn it, Surthara. Why are you like this? Alright, Rakash, you're going to land... I don't know, there's no island nearby, is there? Oh. Don't look like it. Oh, you know what I should have done? We are 50... You know what? Wait. If we can win the Battle of Trogtak Mount, we should be able to get enough Canopic Jars to raise another Legion. Which is pretty important. I guess the question is, do we keep this and trade it? And we could probably trade it to Nagarond for peace and then attack him, but now that the Wood Elves are at war... Ooh, I don't like how our relationship with them is deteriorating. Maybe we want to trade it to them instead. Interesting stuff. Rakash, yes. You are going to land... I don't know, just land a Toran Rock. As long as there isn't like a big old full stack here, you should be fine. Yeah, it was basically nothing, it's fine. Alright, go kill that. You can get some Scorched Bones maxed out since your army is based around them for now, though that will change. And you see how regular Lich Priests have Restless Dead, the important as heck passive, available at level, well, at the second skill point, but level 3? Why do the Lich High Priests lock it away? It just seems like a worse version of the lore, effectively. Which I find strange. And there is Protection, and you... Soul Blight, and then into Spirit Lead Chapter. Also, what do we have? What? Oh, it's a decent gate. Huh. I wonder if we can force them to sally out and attack us in the field. It's not like this army is very strong or anything. I mean, we could trade it to these guys for more friendliness. I certainly hope. Rehobi. It's your time, sir. It's your time to shine. Go for Great Dynasty's stance, which is what you're in. We don't have anything we can do to help you. Oh, well, you know, let's build some buildings before we fight. Been doing a lot of fighting. Red Desert, you are switching back to the worship. And we are now getting rid of the Skull Repository. Sorry, Skull Repository. Titan Peaks, you are switching to worship, and Quintex will be built up next turn. And it's going to take all our money. Sulfurettes, yeah, I guess you can get the Regnant Catacombs. Nothing for you yet, but next turn we'll need to switch as there will be a bunch of stuff to build at once. And Plane of Dogs. Yes, build the Ushabti structure and then switch immediately back to Worship of SF. And the rest of the stuff can be kept. Alright, more Ushabti available in 2 turns, which is good because we're raising more legions. You, Torakar, are no longer necessary, so we'll probably demolish you. But I would like to see a couple things.
Servant of Light.
A moment. If we... Could we get to Lariel to fight Eotain?
The Ever Queen.
Here's the problem. We need to attack Eotain to take the Book of Nagash, but Eotain is in a defensive alliance. Okay, we need to figure this out. What's the likelihood we could reach the White Tower before? If we do successfully get her to... Okay, let's figure this out. Now, we should be able to get there before she declares war on them, right? I think so. Alright, let us trade the Shrine of Kurnus and possibly Torakar to her. How much is the Shrine of Kurnus worth to you? 69. Defensive Alliance. Yes. Then, break trade agreement with Eotain. Break military access with Eotain. Break defensive alliance with Eotain. This is going to get all the other elves pissed at her, but okay, like I said, we're going to have to cause some havoc here because we need that book. And everything else I think is fine. Actually, wait. Tiranoc are the ones that attacked us, right? Yeah, but they'll be dead next turn, so it doesn't really matter. And then we'll take the money. I guess we could force her into a war with Hag Grief as well. Wait, let's see. Yeah. She is willing to fight Hag Grief and will probably need somebody to defend the Shrine of Cain, which we intend to trade. Alright. It's not going to be as much money as I would have liked, but this is necessary. Do the defensive alliance like so.
Yes.
This will also allow Khatep to heal while moving through her territory. Then, how much is Torakar worth to you? 54. Not crazy. But for now, keep it around. Well, Nakari comes over here and retakes it. I mean, right now I don't see anybody with a big enough stack to attack it. And she is kind of around. If she grabs all of these territories, it'll frankly be worth more. You know what? We'll risk it. If we lose Torakar, we lose Torakar. We still have the Shrine of Cain, which is also going to be leveling up soon. Now, Rehobi. And who is Hetikor again? Oh, the other priest. Right. Okay, so we need to hit Kurun for that book. You will now go out here and search for the, Belagar. What the heck are you here? What are you doing here? What the heck is this? Oh, that's so weird. This is a very interesting campaign. There's a bunch of bizarre things happening. But anyway, Rehobi now. While the other guy searches for the crown, you're gonna hit Shrogtak Mount, and we're going to hope... And Malekith doesn't have a full stack nearby to immediately kill this army off. The enemy has 2 Nablar scrap launchers and lead belchers, both of which will be an issue here. And let's hope that we can overcome. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Another army at the last. Not a complete army, perhaps as yet, but well, we're working on it. And we got a bunch of units that we can get into proper combat. The Sepulchral Stalkers, which I've mentioned many a time. I really like as a unit. We got 4 of these guys, 2 staying behind with the rest of our forces, and 2 Vanguard deployed all the way back here. Kind of in a dangerous position, but hopefully we can get some good use out of them and have them destroy those Noblar scrap launchers. In addition to that, we have summoned the Chosen of the Gods Ushabti, which are a very, very strong regiment of renown with those split shots that they've got, and we'll see just how well they do shortly. Anyway, moving forward now. I'm gonna try to draw a bead on the enemy with our Ushabti, and their range isn't anything crazy. At 115, in fact it's relatively short. However, the enemy doesn't really have too many things that are particularly long range either. The lead belchers are actually at 200 range, so they will be able to fire back. We're going to try to attempt to use the cover of these trees to fire and then move behind cover. Hopefully I don't get the unit immediately killed by the lead belchers, as that would be unfortunate. Alrighty, getting nearly close enough now, just making sure that the trees maintain their cover. Alright, and it's time to take our first split shots there. And of course our first target is going to be those lead belchers. The scrap launchers and the lead belchers are the main things to worry about here. And I would have gone for the scrap launcher if it weren't for the fact that the lead belchers firing back is probably going to be more threatening. Anyway, this has not annoyed the enemy all that much, but unfortunately a bunch of Nobblers did decide to move into the corner over here and spot our Sepulchral Stalkers. Rather than giving them a fight, we're going to get the Stalkers out of there. I'd rather them not take damage at this current time, and they are quite quick to be able to reposition themselves with their huge 75 speed, and the fact that they'll go right back into stock once they're away from the enemy. We also have a single unit of ranged chariots, which is annoying the enemy and getting a couple of shots off at an enemy Nobbler scrap launcher. But of course the goal remains to annoy the enemy army until it moves towards us. I was fully expecting this battle to be a minor settlement battle. Didn't realize it would be a field battle. Pleasantly surprised though. And nice shot from that scrap launcher, and ooh, it does manage to land upon one of the poor chariot units, and the chariot does go down. Gonna have to back away lest the scrap launchers bring the rest down, while the enemy army decides to move forward. Alright, we're gonna speed it up a little bit as the enemy moves, and there we go. Looks like some saber tusks have arrived. And they'll lead the vanguard of the enemy Ogre host. They are, however, going to take a few shotgun blasts to the face from those Sepulchral Stalkers. Especially if they want to stick around like this, you better get into combat, but if you get into combat, you'll get ripped apart. And especially with the rampage on those kitties, well, they're strong in terms of their attacks, but yeah, they're kind of untrustworthy as a unit just because of that darn rampage ability. And they are fragile enough that they get ripped apart fairly easily. Anyway, looks like the main enemy army is heading towards us. Our Sepulchral Stalkers have once again gone through the enemy, and one has found a unit of scrap launchers, or one scrap launcher, and the other is heading for the next unit of scrap launchers as well. Lead belchers are down to about half HP. On the leftmost flank, we have sent out our Nehekar horsemen as well as our chariots, who are just going to start working on the piles of Nobblers here. There are a fair few of them to deal with after all. Unfortunately, these guys should be able to do so just fine, as they're a weak unit, though the Nobbler trappers with that slow trapping ability that they have do make it a little bit more difficult for the horses and the chariots to do their work. Still, slowly but surely, we'll run them over and grind them into dust beneath our chariot wheels. That said, while the Nobblers are distracting our cav, their Ogre Masters have arrived at the main portion of the battle. Ushabti head in, Monstrous Infantry facing off against Monstrous Infantry, while the Tomb Guard attempt to hold ground below. Still could really use those Halberd Tomb Guard, and we'll get them in here as soon as we can. And greater numbers, I mean. We got 2 in this army, and, well, none in Khatep's army. But at least this army has the 2 units of halberd-wielding Tomb Guard backed up by a few units of Skeleton Spears, 2 regular units of Spears, and then the King Nikesh's and the Scorpion Legion as well. Lots of anti-large, and of course the anti-large on the 4 units of Sepulchral Stalkers as well, so I think this army is fairly decently situated to be facing off against the Ogre army. Ooh, gotta be careful with that, Sepulchral Stalkers. Those shotgun blasts are very dangerous to our own infantry units if they hit into a blob. Ogre is failing to find purchase among our halberds and, well, halberds and halberds, I guess, if we're talking about Tomb Guard and Sepulchral Stalkers. And the enemy are still stuck fighting in the center. Over on the left flank, the Chariots and the Nehekara Horsemen have finally sent the Nobblers running away, and more of our Sepulchral Stalkers have defeated one of the units of the enemy Scrap Launchers and are going after the Lead Belchers now. Unfortunately for the enemy, the Lead Belchers have achieved absolutely nothing in this particular battle, getting a few shots off, but doing basically no damage, and obviously being hunted down throughout the entirety of the battle, whether it be via our own range units or via our melee. Alright, well, these Lead Belchers have no chance in melee against the Sepulchral Stalkers, I'd wager, so we can just leave them to get hacked to bits. Out here, the balance of power has shifted to about 70% in our favor, though our Ushabti have started to take damage. Do have to be careful with our Lich High Priest as well, as while the Slaughter Master is not going to be the craziest melee fighting lord, he's also going to be quite a bit more fighty, slaughtery than a Lich High Priest is. And with plenty more mass as well, so the Tomb Guard won't be able to keep him easily back. Oh, wow, sent that guy flying. And that guy as well. Well, the Slaughter Master attempts to slaughter, but I suppose the only thing they'll find here is bones for their pots and no meat. And I just feel like making bone broth might just not be enough for the ogres. But anyway, looks like some of them are backing out of there now that the Lead Belchers and the Scrap Launchers are gone. Our other Sepulchral Stalkers are starting to get ready to flank the ogres. And once again start using those halberds of theirs to great effect. And especially against the dual-wielding variant of ogres, as they're going to be a little bit more fragile. At least than the Iron Fists. Alright, and how's the battle looking? Oh wow, Screaming Skull right through the camera. Bounce power's at about 85% in our favor now. Most of our fast movers have separated themselves from each other and are just looking for new targets out here. Ooh, looks like a nice set of shotgun blasts from our Sepulchral Stalkers right into this pile of Nobblers, who take about half of their HP, first to the shotguns and then to the charge of the second unit of Stalkers. Beautiful work from them. More chariots charging through the Nobbler trappers. Bounce power shift to about 90% in our favor. The enemy Slaughter Master is heavily damaged now, and even though these Ushabti have taken damage themselves, by the looks of it, they will be enough to bring the Slaughter Master down. We've also been able to keep everybody off the backs of the Chosen of the Gods, and those Ushabti with Great Bow have done, well, great work. And there we go with that, the ogres are done. We'll book it on out of there, and the battle will be ours. If the enemy had attacked us in the field, we would have had a tough time chasing them down, and most of the enemy units would have survived. However, since they stayed in their own settlement, every single unit will be destroyed. Lovely. Ooh, alright, a nice fight. Certainly had to work for that one. Pretty impressed with the work of the Sepulchral Stalkers, but, well, that was always going to be a given. There's a reason. I really love the units. They did well against the Ogres, they did well against the Nobblers, they Vanguard deployed, I should say, behind the enemy army and dealt with the Nobbler scrap launchers and lead belchers, and by and large were the second MVPs after the Chosen of the Gods Ushabti in this particular fight. Hardly surprising though, as, well, the Chosen of the Gods are monstrously effective. A unit with those split shots that they have. We barely got any money from that, surprisingly, but it was the jars that we were interested in, and I guess we'll temporarily occupy the place. It'll allow us to heal, but it'll also... Me killed in battle, and me killed in battle, scroll of shielding. It'll also give us a vision, and hopefully allow us to trade stuff away. And the world did tremble. Oh, we actually had a quest to do that. Even more money. Swell. Swelly. Swelltastic. Then, the jars we wanted were for this. A new dynasty, Awaken. Immediately. Alright, and the next one's, how many jars? 1,400. Alright, a fair bit, but, you know, fair enough. What we want to do now is go here to Scarpool's lair. And a Golden Age King. Ooh, Bound Tomb Swarm, Weapon Strength, Missile... Oh, you're pretty good, sir. You're pretty good indeed. And attack and melee defense for Nehekar warriors and chariots. Is this better than what we currently have? Because we could use Rehobi to use Nehekar warriors. Missiles, resistance, and speed. I mean, I like the melee attack, but I tend to favor speed generally as a stat over most other stats, with the exception of melee defense. But anyway, Golden Age King. What? Ooh, Scorched by the Desert. Fire damage. That's nice. That would also work quite nicely with the... Nah, but here's the problem. Okay, wait, okay, let me just think about this for a second. The problem is for... Okay, so the Krokagar Legion... Let me just see here. And the Green Skulls, they both have fire damage and fire weakness via Searing Flame on the Green Skulls. And the Krokagar Legion do fire damage directly. The issue there is that while this lord would help in making a fire army, Scorched by the Desert, and the fire resistance would actually help counteract... Oh, and you got flammable as well. The question is that worth more for a fire army? I like both of those lords quite a bit. Then, where's King Rakash? Then, Blessing of the Asp, or Blessing of Asaph. So this will give us 20 magic reserve, 20% damage, and more importantly, missile strength plus 20. I suppose we could make two different shooting armies, or shootee armies. One with the Sepulchral Stalkers combined with the non-Krokagar Legion Skeleton Archers to take advantage of Asaph the Goddess, and the other to take advantage of the fire stuff. I mean, you're not going to get a better Fire Lord than one with all that fire stuff. And I do like my Fire Lords, but also the Golden Age King looks good. Well, Scorched by the Desert first. Other stuff after. You go in here and begin on scorpioning up the world. How many turns would it take to recruit a Scorpion via Global? Scorpions? 4 turns, alright, so too long. I think that we want to recruit here via Global, or at least start on. We get 1 Krokagar Legion going. But frankly, since we can recruit 6 stuff here, it probably wouldn't do much for us. I guess we shouldn't bother. Alright, fine. Don't bother then. It won't speed up the matter at all. We have to take 6 turns if we want to build up all the green sky. Why did I do that via Global? Oh, because you have to be here. Well, we'll be swapping out units anyway. Plus, we'll be getting another army out there. Hopefully, this guy doesn't get milled out. That would be unfortunate. I'd love to get you on the field. You look pretty damn solid. But anyway, anything else we need to do right now? Okay, so let's just check diplomacy again. Eatane's not happy with us, probably going to... Well, actually, if they declare war on us, might not necessarily be a bad thing. We'll have to see. Flame Gullets will ignore. Heralds of Ariel outpost. In Avalorn. Do we have one available in the Gaian Vale? Yes, indeed we do. Ooh. Yes, good. Construct outpost, heralds, ally missions, kill Shroktak Mount Camp, good. And building, we are good for this particular turn, as we've checked. Alright, skip, and end the turn. Alright, let's see if our plans worked out. I didn't forget anything. And hopefully Malekith doesn't instantly come in and destroy us. Ah. Dang it. Huh. Okay, that actually... Huh. Okay, that's not exactly what I was planning, but this works. It might break up these alliances. Oh no, wait, there's a problem with this. If these guys... this is what I was thinking of avoiding. I was gonna say try to get Avalorn to join the war afterwards, but now is not a good time, because they might be able to hit the White Tower before we get there. Because they've got armies closer, for the love of... Well, obviously we're gonna enter war inside of Ally, but... Oh, okay, no, they didn't move down here. Okay, that could have been a major issue. Because they might not have been willing to give it up. Also, it has a solid landmark for us, but yeah. Alright, this works. Causing havoc on the donut. We'll also have to watch out for Tyrion's main stacks and stuff moving towards us. You want peace. We want you to die, so no. You will attack us here. We cannot resolve this by the looks of it, because this is pathetic. And we will take the... I guess endless march for the movement. Although the replenishment... I do like the replenishment as well, but, you know, 20% movement is a fairly significant amount. We also have to watch out for Malekith coming in. Alright, ally begins outpost construction, enemy killed, faction destroyed, Clark Harond, Highborn of Khemri for Rahobi, Talisman of Preservation, yes, Wisdom of the Third Dynasty, double yes, Earth and Strength, defeat Bull Noblar Eater? I'm pretty sure it's spelled Noblar with an A, yeah, and this is Noblar Eater. How did you spell the name? Okay, whatever. In your own game, devs. Come on now. What's QA doing? Khatep. Starting with you, sir. Obsidian Lodestone out, Talisman of Preservation in. Now we've got 46% ward save on him. And as the sword powers up, it'll give him even more ward save. His armor will still be garbage, but, well, we're making the weakest, the physically weakest lord in the game quite a bit stronger. You're heading to the White Tower, and hopefully you can reach it before the Avalornians do. It's a bomb. Find Nakari. Where the heck is Nakari? Where are his armies? I don't understand what's going on. Could he be besieging... Oh, there he is. Never mind. He's level 13. Ooh, he's got the Marquis of Masochism. I might try to push this way. Hopefully Ivres, who is now at war with both Nakari and Tyrion, doesn't get crushed between them. Damn, I sent this guy up here. Now I'm thinking I should have sent him down here to deal with this stuff. But I guess we still have to deal with Griffin Gate, so that doesn't change. In regular stance, you can head to the gate. Like so. And we will encircle. I want to see if they're willing to sally out and attack us. Because I'd really prefer to fight them in the field, because this army is not going to be good at dealing with that gate. Alright, this has turned into a really interesting turn of events. Hetakor, you've got to go find us a nice crown. Go find it. And damn, Kemler's doing good. He's got Marienburg, he's got Gorcel. Run's not doing good. They'll be doing even worse once we're over there, taking their capital for our Book of Nagash. And yeah, Empire's falling again. And the same thing happened in my Imra campaign, or is happening in my Imra campaign, which is kind of interesting simply because, well, it seems to be happening always to these guys. Now, we have money. We need to spend it. Construction costs for province capital and settlement buildings as well. I think we were actually about to build a couple next turn. The other option would be to wake another legion. I want the Golden Host of Mahrok available up and running as fast as possible. There's some good stuff here. Growth, construction cost, income from post-battle loot, campaign movement range. A lot of good stuff here. I'm gonna say start with the construction cost reduction. I mean, we're gonna do all three either way. It's just that it costs a lot of money. Alright, and Rehobi. You should in theory be able to auto-resolve these guys. I want to see two things though. First of all, how's the Moonshard looking? Minus 23, it's getting there. It's getting there. Frankly, you now fighting Nagaronde is not necessarily a bad thing. What about the other place? Shruktek Mount. We give this to you. It's worth 37. We could do the military alliance with you, or just take your cash. And wait. Declare war on Atane. Declare war on Hagrief. Declare war on Broken Axe. Tiranoc. Seducers of Slaanesh. 91. It's a little much. Oh, that was with Shruktek Mount? Okay, wait. No. There's a reason I'm doing this. Not Atane. Still too much, eh? Is it Seducers of Slaanesh that you don't want to fight? I'd like to fight... Wait. Okay. Hagrief. Broken Axe. Okay, you're willing to fight Broken Axe. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's because the weaker we make them, and the more likely we can get them to to become our vassals. Huh, actually surprisingly willing to fight Atane. What's the best combination here? Broken Axe and Atane? Damn, we can't even do two, can we? Kind of willing to do Tiranoc. Almost willing to do Nakari. Laneshi giggle. Alright, I'll have to think about this. You don't have another mission for us, do you? No, but Avalorn does. Admiral Leech. Malice Darkblade. A moment. Malice is here. That's not great. Nakari's a little bit far away. One Ellen Ray, you are probably too far away for us to deal with. We're going to have to send you to deal with Nakari, or not Nakari. And with Malice... I just pieced out with him. Damn you, game. Alright, I'm actually not going to accept one of these missions yet. I'd like the option to keep an eye on them using the sort of tracking thing that it offers. In the meantime, you're going to destroy Shruktek Mount Camp and want these ogres gone so that they stop raiding us. And auto-resolve this. Let's hope that didn't do too much damage. Now we're okay. And we'll take the money because we're about to spend. Then Rehobi, you're going to... We could get out of Shruktek Mount and return to our own territory. I think we will. Go here. Flame Gullets destroyed? Good. Oh, but does destroying Flame Gullets make these guys less now likely to be our vassals? 79. Well, I think it was 78 before, so it wasn't a major difference. Alright, so what we want to see now, via regular diplomacy, is strength ranks. Seducers of Slaanesh is strength rank 7. Oh, Reichland is strength rank 1. Okay. Maybe they're not doing as bad as I thought they were. Though they're not super friendly with us, but that's still okay. Okay. If we have you declare war on the Seducers of Slaanesh...
On behalf of the Mage Queen,
Shruktek Mount. Join war against Seducers of Slaanesh. Huh? Wait. I thought they weren't super willing to do this before. Was I accidentally offering them something else? Weird. Atane? Wait, now you're super will. Did I select a different faction than this? Okay, I don't know what I did. This wasn't what I was expecting, but this is what I want, so I'm happy with this. It's odd, but yes. Trade settlement. And declare war on all these guys. 57. Now, a moment. Moonshard. 55. 9k. Is it worth 9k? We might be able to get it, but I think it's worth it. The tribute alone is probably going to be worth it. And then we can give them all of these territories up here without... and they'll hopefully defend us. Yes. Become vassal. I was trying to think if there was anything else that we need to do here, but I don't think so. Do it.
Yes, agreed.
Thank you. All right. That's 531 gold tribute, pretty darn solid, plus the trade they're giving us as well. And they are also acting as a buffer, which is pretty darn nice. Alrighty. And we can get their units recruited as soon as possible. Now, we have another Tomb King, and we do get to keep that Golden Age King. Beautiful. And just out of curiosity, another Scorched by the Desert. Alright, we're definitely getting a Tomb King, though. And what I would like you, sir, to do... Let's also build this thing. Hidden Sanctum. It was the Hidden Sanctum, right? We got the Burial Pits as well. I suppose we could build the Hidden Sanctum, research what we need, delete it, and then replace it with the Burial Pits for capacities. Probably the better pick. And then in the meantime, you can go into Worship of Petra. Alright, then we'll set up... We can get Ushabti here. We got more Ushabti coming in here. Alright, start recruiting here at the Plane of Spiders. I want you to build 6 Green Skull Legion. We'll allow Rehobi to switch to recruiting door. You know what, we need to swap a bunch of units around. It's going to be a whole thing. I'd also like to send this guy down here to Plane of Dogs to recruit more stuff, though we got Scorpions coming in a little bit. I guess we could build 6. Oh, we also need to ferry some over to Khatep. Okay, well, we'll get a little force together with the stuff that we want to ferry to Khatep, namely the Tomb Guard and a few other things. This doesn't give us the ability to build Tomb Guard until tier 4, which is going to take a while, admittedly. Alright, next, Quintex. I believe you should have finished up your main building, which is going to be very costly to build, but it is what it is. We'll build you up, and we got to start on the... So let's say start on the Fated Pyramidion here as well. However, we'll be able to build these up if we skip the Pyramidion for now. And I think we need to keep the control, despite the bonus control... Oh wait, we don't get bonus control out of this, or this. I'm used to landmarks and wine giving bonus control, but they don't do it here. Any reason to get this? It's a little bit more gold. Yeah, fine, build it. Build it, and then I guess we'll wait. We'll wait until both of these are upgraded and then start on the Pyramidion, and thus I think there's no need to bother building with the Obsidian Quarry. Alright, good. Ashen Coast, you will need to switch immediately to Worship. Iron Sand Desert, you are fine as you are, as there will be nothing to build there for a while, at least until we're ready to get rid of the Royal Barracks. Though we'll need to build a Pyramidion here as well relatively soon. And we just have to move the barracks elsewhere. Torakar, you are going to go for open graves. Doesn't really matter which. And we're going to try to do the same thing with the Lariel that we did with the Wood Elves, i.e. trade them Torakar once it's worth more. I'm really hoping that she takes this territory. Trade them Torakar once it's worth more to get them to declare war on a bunch more factions. So can we do that right now? No. Alright, well, we'll wait. And then later on give them Shrine of Cain once it's built up, and hopefully vassalize them as well, and then do the same thing with the Ivres. If Ivres and Avalorn are both our vassals, we don't really care about Illyrian. Maybe we could make Illyrian happen, but it's a minor faction, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, alright, things are coming together for Khatep. Oh, very interesting campaign. Anyway, skip... Huh? Wait. Did we not raise 2 lords? This is lying. No, we're doing Proclamation of the 3rd Dynasty. I was like, what the heck is going on? It's still saying Wisdom of the 3rd Dynasty. It's saying the wrong tech. Upgrade... Yeah, go for it. And turn. Alright, let's see if we can hit that White Tower of Hoeth before one of the other elves takes it from us. And get another book in the gash before heading out to Kurunan. Ooh, look at that. I see... Malistark, okay, yeah, we saw that he was over there, and that's probably Admiral Leech. Indeed it is. Although that Black Ark is a little bit weak and shouldn't be super threatening. Did we get Hilariel to declare war on them? Dim Suns will attack Avalorn. Damn, okay, well, it looks like they'll probably besiege Torakar. We'll need to trade it immediately for whatever we can get out of them. Musion destroyed, Dynasty researched, and construction cost reduction. Others search for the Nemesis Crown. We know, game, we know, but where is it? Just tell us where it is. Alright, and ooh, Malekith's on the approach. The Sisters of Twilight are going to be in trouble here. I don't know if they'll leave Shrogtak Mount, but we'll put them to ambush right behind them. And see. I mean, it could screw us over if Malekith attacks and this guy's by himself, but on the other hand, he's a decent chance to win, I think. As for the type of army that you're going to have, we're going to get you some Scorched Bones. We could move through evasion and get you Arcane Conduit as well. Ah, but we really need the Restless Dead to heal the entire army, don't we? Damn it, alright, fine. Go through the Restless Dead. It's so weird. It's so weird that they did this. But anyway. Unless it's a more powerful version of the Restless Dead. +5 melee defense, plus 0.20 healing. Khatep. No, it's the same exact one. Alright, I don't know what the deal is. Anyway. I'd love for Khatep to kill Malice, but we can't risk these guys taking my Tower of Hoth before we do, so we're going to ignore him. Looks like these guys are not going to attack us. And I fear we have to break the siege. She doesn't have the forces to deal with this, so you're going to have to move up here and get ready to intercept Malice. March stance, he should not be able to physically reach us. Alright, then the Dimmed Suns have also declared war on us, most likely meaning they'll take Torakar, meaning... Well, they don't have Siege Attacker, do they? Actually, they do, they have a Giant. Eh, go figure. And they're not stuck here. Interesting that they didn't declare war on Elysia. I was really banking on making this worth more, but I guess we should trade it right now. So trade settlement, Torakar, and... fight Nagarond. And Broken Axe. And... Okay, so something's weird is going on with this, but anyway. Will Military Alliance... I guess we could take the money. And we can still do Military Alliance. I'm just wondering whether Military Alliance will make it less likely that you're gonna be friend, or that you're gonna be likely to be our vassal. I don't know. We're gonna do it.
Yes.
-106. Was it -106 before? Did it change? Okay, and now that we can see Malice, I guess we'll accept the mission. Ooh, we should also build up some of the, some of this stuff. Alright, as for who we attack, probably Malice. Let's accept it for now. Heralds of Ariel, I guess Malekith is the way to go. Alright. Alright, and Dynasty Research. Ugh, it's gonna be costly, but Proclamation of the Second Dynasty, we'll go through all these. We gotta start racking up the points for the Canopic Jars here as well. Hopefully we have enough money to build what we need to build. Red Desert, switch back to Worship. Actually, no, switch back to it next turn after we get... Oh, we can't get rid of the Hidden Sanctum until we get 500 Canopic Jars. Okay, fair enough. Stay in growth then. Alright, Ashen Coast. We got stuff to build here. Sulphurettes, upgrade to next tier. We could... I guess get these buildings. It's more money. It's not a lot more money, but it is more money. I'm tempted by the treasure tombs as well, but I think for now we need growth and military structures. Growth is actually okay here. I'm tempted to say get another Ushabti building and then... Oh, wait, if we need... Did we delete the Chariot building? We need the Chariot building at least somewhere. Not necessarily here. We will delete them later on, especially as this is going to be... Oh, wait. This is going to be one of our biggest money-making provinces. I could forego the Chariots for now. You know, just build the growth. Just build the growth. We'll do them elsewhere. It's fine. It's fine. Alrighty, and Petrified Forest. We'll start with you, or do we start with Sildra Tor for the additional growth? Yeah, more growth faster. Also, how's Mazdamundi feeling about us now? -58. Only a matter of time until he declares war on us. Treasures. Oh, they're the Tomb Scorpion guy. I wanted a Tomb Scorpion army. But then we need another army. The ability to raise one. Alright, as soon as possible, as soon as possible. One thing at a time, Ruinous. Come on now. You are fine. And you, Shrine of Cain, yes, definitely upgrade. It's gonna take a while. Grumbrindle? What the heck are you doing here? Your territories are being taken over by Malekith, you're down to 2, and your strength rank is 66, and you're sailing all the way out here. The AI is being just a wacko again. Complete wacko. Anyway, by the looks of it, we will not be able to find another battle in this particular episode, even if Khatep does reach the white... Well, you know what? If we end the turn, we might be able to see whether Malekith approaches. So let's go here. Try to get to that white tower and the next book. I didn't even check what this book does, but nonetheless. Ramaranef. I'd love for you to build a Scorpion, but you're actually going to go here and build Ushabti instead. Wait. Do you need to be in a specific stance, or are you fine? No, you're fine. Alright, build Ushabti here. Whatever kinds you can, every kind, all the Ushabti. 2 Ushabti with Great Bow, 1 Ushabti regular, and 1 Sepulchral Stalker. Good. Alright.
Arise, legions.
Arise, legions, indeed, and you, Krokagar Legion. Beautiful. Alright, just a few turns of this and we'll suddenly have several armies able to go at once. And we're gonna need them because Mazdamundi will attack us, Malekith's already attacking us, and we need to fend them all off. And a few other factions really don't like us. I'm a little bit concerned about Nagaroth. Anyway. Head to Core. Go find the Nemesis Crown. Itabam. Well, you found Nakari. I was going to check whether we could get a better Necrotect. Ah, there we go, Nehekar and Ingenuity. Alright, you sir are done. Out. And we're gonna pop the new guy into one of these armies. Nehekar and Ingenuity. Very nice, and that is it. So let's end the turn on post upgrade. Nah, we can't really afford it right now. And Titan Peaks has to wait until the Pyramidion because we don't have the growth yet for it. Alright, end turn. Malekith, will you fall for this? Sisters of Twilight, you better not run. Let Malekith move first. I don't know who moves first, but I'm hoping it's Malekith. He will... Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, go figure. His Sisters of Twilight, you better not die attempting to attack him. Hopefully he's in range of the settlement. If he's standing just outside it, we'd have to attack him without aid from these guys. Let's find out, and... What is this? Oh, we have, it's been 40 turns. Alright, fair enough. Unfortunately, while there's a lot of good stuff in here, and I mean a lot of good stuff, I think we can't forgo growth. The thing is, if we forgo growth, it becomes less likely that we'll be able to get Bone Giants and Hyro Titans and all that good stuff early, so the growth has to take priority, even though there's a lot of good stuff. Control +4 research, but anyway, Mortuary Oracle yet again. Cloak of Dunes, what is this? Attack when fighting in desert immune to desert attrition. Are we not immune to desert attrition? Are we generally not immune to desert attrition? That's shocking. Consult the High Priest. Alrighty, Proclamation of the Second Dynasty, good. And a little bit of cash. Potion of Healing to gain a substantial income. Malekith. See if you're in range for an attack. He's busily screaming out. Will he fight or will he run? He will run. That's a bit of a shame. What does he have in his army that he's not willing to fight? Really? You're gonna run with all those Shades and Bloodrack Medusa? That's a solid stack, dude. Actually, I would have loved the Medusa to join with the other snakes. It's a lot of range. And the Shades aren't visible, which is also a concern. Malekith Sonic is Cold One, and does he have Blade Wind? He has Power of Darkness, Chill Wind, no Blade Wind. He does have a Dark Sorceress, whose level I can't see, okay, but another Chill Wind. It's a lot of Chill Wind. We do have Chariots and stuff. The problem is the Nehekar Horsemen won't be able to deal with these guys. I'm almost tempted to say it's probably better to try the ambush, but he wasn't willing to actually attack this. We could always try to damage him and back off. The thing is, the Shades. They're good enough in melee that if we charge them with these guys, it'll be a problem. Without the Necropolis Knights to rely on. He just has a lot of range superiority. He really, really does. And yet, Gleaming Pennant... Who's liable to take a lot of damage here? I'm gonna say the Ushabti. Go. Alright, here we go. Like everything in this campaign so far, this is completely, very much a necessary thing, as in, this battle is a necessary fight. Now, We were able to handle the ogres pretty okay here, but this side wager is going to be a much more dangerous proposition. There's a lot of shades, and that's just a ton of armor-piercing missile damage. And speaking of armor-piercing missile damage, we've got those darn Bloodrack Medusa, which do plenty of damage with their rail guns. They've got decent melee stats. They use the they disrupt and silence as well. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, we're going to start the battle up by moving our Lich High Priest forward. Why? Mostly because I wanted him to see if shades were moving towards us. Sometimes the AI will move those stalking hidden units up instead of the entire army, so they'd like sort of leave half of their army behind and then send the stalkers in, which has been pretty impressive from the AI. It's caught me a few times, at least once I remember very suddenly, and almost losing a bunch of units in the Zatan campaign way back when. But anyway, we're gonna start the battle up by getting our Ushabti with great bow, hosing down the enemy Bloodrack Medusa. Unfortunately, they miss most of their shots, but that's alright. I was hoping that there were a bunch of shades standing beneath the Medusa, but that's alright. Once we spot the shades, then we'll know where to fire at. And it also does look like most of the enemy army is deployed over on this side, which works just fine for us, as we've deployed up on top of this hill, and we'll be firing down on the enemy with our Screaming Skulls and Ushabti down below. And we've deployed most of our fast movers on this side. I was hoping to be able to get around the enemy army anyway, and by the looks of it, this might actually be possible. Gonna get a little bit of snake-on-snake action here, as these Spokal Stalkers are gonna move in and try to fight off those Medusa. With their anti-large, we'll see how effective they are against the Medusas. And moving on in, looks like the one Medusa stops us, but the other one does manage to get off her railgun shot. We're going to try to move around and engage both of them in melee. Kind of similar weapon types as well. I wonder if they have the same, like, rigging, skeleton, whatever. They have somewhat different animations, clearly. But anyway, Medusa versus these guys. We'll see how that all works out, but the main battle is about to be joined as well. We have done a decent bit of damage with our Screaming Skull and our Ushabti with great bow so far. Once again, as the enemy's shades blob up. And we're going to get a few shotgun shots right into the middle of those enemies with our Spokal Stalkers, which works out. That said, we've started to take a lot of damage on our infantry as well. Those darn Medusa are quite able into that sort of thing, or quite capable, rather. Out here, we've sent one of our units of Ushabti with melee, with Kopeshes, to attack the other Bloodrack Medusa and hopefully bring this one down with range shots instead. We've also peeled away our chariots, though Malekith has managed to block them off while on his mount. Hopefully we can move right past him and into those lines of shades behind them. You gotta charge through them, prevent them all from firing, and hopefully force them to rout. Alright, some nice shots from the Screaming Skull Catapult, perhaps not quite center mass on the shades, but still doing pretty well. And some solid value out of them, especially as they're not firing into our own units. Spokal Stalkers move on in and charge through the shades, well, not quite as well as a unit of Necropolis Knights perhaps, but they certainly have enough mass to do this sort of thing. And by the looks of it, the shades are in trouble, many of them probably fleeing in terror. Actually, not so much. Mostly just routing. Well, we gotta keep up the pressure. Those that are routing will have to be attacked from every side that we can. Out here, the Medusa are down to about half HP, but the Nehekara Horsemen and their Spokal Stalkers are starting to take damage as well. Unfortunately, perhaps smartly, the AI kept 2 Masters with the Medusa at all times, and the Masters are fairly solid at bringing down individual models of these Spokal Stalkers, so good job to the AI. That said, not such a good job blobbing up these shades so much. They are hybrid units and decent in melee perhaps, but the chariots and the Spokal Stalkers are still simply running them over. Malekith is still in the fight and has been dropping chill wind after chill wind through our melee formations and has done 20,000 damage so far, which is pretty solid. And that said, the bounce power is most definitely in our favor. Now we have had to peel away those damaged units from the right side, but this will allow our Screaming Skull Catapult and our Shabti with Great Bow to fire on the enemy Medusa instead. And hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier to bring these down, as they've been doing plenty of work. Anyway, this one is attempting to escape with a tiny bit of HP, and the Sepulchral Stalkers, by the looks of it, will get the kill. Malekith's still in the fight and probably has at least a few chill winds. There one goes in him, and there's a second chill wind. Huh, look at that, the AI little X, little crisscross. I guess the second chill wind was from the Sorceress, who we did send some Sepulchral Stalkers to try to hunt down, but apparently she had not yet routed. Those Masters are unfortunately also still hunting our Sepulchral Stalkers down and getting kill after kill, and though by the looks of it, and with the army losses being pretty significant, and the Masters will begin to shortly rout as well. Another Medusa is out of the picture, as the combination of various range units do manage to force her to rout. Alright, the skulls don't quite land, but that's not a big deal by the looks of it, as the Ushabti with Great Bow and... I was about to say finish her up, but doesn't quite land, but that's alright. Gotta remember that the units that shatter are done, since this army attempted to back off from us already. The entire army will be destroyed, and as long as we win the battle, and by the looks of it with the bounce power at about 90% in our favor, win we shall. Malekith is attempting to peel away, probably to move towards our Lich High Priest, but the Ushabti moved to intercept him, and the Sepulchral Stalkers and halberd-wielding Tomb Guard hit him in the back, and by the looks of it, he is going to shatter. There we go. Malekith breaks, shatters, and the rest of his forces follow suit, giving the battle to us. That said, a fairly tough fight. We took quite a bit of damage, especially over on this bridge. Most of our infantry are very badly hurt due to all that spell work from the enemy, and I suppose the lack thereof from our own guy, but not to worry, he'll be leveled eventually and fix that situation right up. Alrighty, there we go. Poor King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion, the ill-fated Legion, I should say, as they just keep getting destroyed every time we bring them up. They fall. Not super surprising, considering it's just a skeleton warrior unit and meant to be disposable chaff, but unfortunate that it takes 10 turns to get them back. I feel like maybe for the Tomb Kings and maybe for their chaff units, at the very least, the Regiment of Renown, maybe it should be 5 turns or something. But anyway, decent amount of cash for our trouble. Malekith's army is destroyed. He got 32k damage, very solid, of just spamming Chill Wind over and over and over again. I was pretty darn impressed with the Medusa, but with the recent buffs and an SFO, they're quite strong, so that's hardly surprising. Our chariots did quite well. They are very effective, I should say, against the Dark Elves, due to them being able to run the relatively low mass units down, so we still managed to get lots of value out of them, and of course the various units of Sepulchral Stalkers and Tomb Guard were super good as well. That was not eloquent. And listen, March, please, for the money. Let's leave that embarrassing thought behind, and ooh, a Forbidden Rod. Very nice. Very nice. And Frenzy, income from raiding, casualties captured. Honestly, none of this is particularly useful on Rehobi here, but, not a big deal. And, oh my lord, minus 184. You know what? Rather than going after Malekith, I'm almost inclined to say we should wipe the Ancestral Throng out. They're going to attack us. And minus 184, we can't let them have a resurgence while we weaken Malekith. And so we should probably turn with this army, and it'll allow some of these armies to sort of join together and get additional units and swap them out, etc, 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 since we got Scorpions, Ushabti, Special Legions and stuff all coming in. Anyway, folks, this episode has obviously gone on and on and on, but a lot of really interesting things were happening, so I was having a blast. So I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we This has no defenses. This time we take the White Tower of Hoeth, I guess occupy it, and get ourselves the 7th Book of Nagash, which gives us a research rate to counteract the research rate we just lost, and more canopic jar generation, which is gonna be nice. The research rate... 116, not as good as it was before, but the canopic jars will hopefully enable us to get the good stuff here as well, which also has a bunch of research rate. More jars, more goodness. Anyway, a book an episode would be swell, but I think it'll be a little bit of time before we can travel to Kuran. And wait, let's just see where the others are. So this one's at Kuran. This one will actually get by sort of fighting in Malekith's territory, because there's an army right here, and it does have capacity for all heroes, which is pretty fantastic. This one's from Mazdamundi. So we'll be going after it as soon as we get an army down here to start fighting him. This is the best book, the Book of Nagash. With the army capacity +1 alone by itself would be worth it, even without +5 of each Tomb Guard. And this appears to be held by just some random little rogue armies. We'll have to send either Khatep... I mean, we could send Khatep around after he grabs the book at Kuhan and maybe the Nemesis Crown, and just have him have a long journey down the coast to grab this book, and then end up here at the 6th Book of Nagash, which is in the desert. So we arrive in the desert of Araby and begin our, well, begin what we're planning to do in Nehek. A triumphant return, you might say. But anyway, more Khatep to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the hour-long episode. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.